It's good to be wanted. They say keep your friends close and your enemies closer. But on Thunder Junction, friends and enemies are one and the same. Being an outlaw is more honest. The chance for power, infamy, and magic puts everyone on the same page. And while you can't trust anyone to watch your back, at least you can pay them to. This is the land of opportunity. And if you take advantage, it has everything you ever wanted.
Welcome to Thunder Junction, a rowdy town full of outlaws and crime, everything you'd expect in Magic's first Western-themed card set. Thanks to the Omen Paths, outlaws are pouring into Thunder Junction from all over the multiverse. Used to be only special folks called planeswalkers could do that. But now, everybody's getting in on the action. I do mean everybody. Things get rambunctious around these parts with so many travelers from all over looking to make their fortune. Or take the fortune that someone else already made. Whichever's easiest. Either way, you best watch your step. Everyone loves a good villain, and Thunder Junction has no shortage of them. In fact, we've got bad guys from every plane you can imagine. And the leader of this group of miscreants is a troublemaker who is often on the wrong side of the law. Oko. He rustled himself up a crew of the biggest and baddest outlaws from across the multiverse for a heist he's planning. He claims it's going to be the biggest job on any plane. He's got a big mouth. We'll see if he backs it up. First up, small but mighty barely begins to cover this fella. Tiny Bones, the pickpocket, master thief and family man from the swamps of Urborg. If you don't watch your stuff around him, you'll find yourself left with nothing but your skin. And being a skeleton and all, he might help himself to that too. Next, he nabbed Annie Flash, the veteran. She has one angelic eye that makes her a crack shot. But that's about the only thing about her you might describe as angelic. She has a real bone to pick with, well, just about everyone. Sad thing is, she's the closest thing to a conscience in Oko's gang. But then again, it's not exactly what you might call a high bar. Next, we got Vraska, the Silencer. Former planeswalker, former guildmaster, and currently one very dangerous Gorgon. I hear tell she's a double agent within Oko's gang, but don't know for sure. That's another thing you ought to know about Thunder Junction. Loyalty's hard to come by. And finally, there's the big guy. Rakdos, the Muscle. Maybe you've heard about his cult back on Ravnica. The big guy himself makes pain circuses look like regular circuses. Anyway, his reason for joining Oko's gang are pretty simple. He just wants some entertainment. And by entertainment, I reckon he means beating the tar out of anyone in his way. If things go like Oko's hoping, he'll get his wish. Nothing says bad guy like a wanted poster, and this new card style can be found on each member of Oko's crew. Which brings us to a new mechanic in Thunder Junction we call Outlaw. Assassins, mercenaries, pirates, rogues, and warlocks are all outlaws. They're not big on the law, but they're big on the opportunities Thunder Junction offers. We got plenty more here, too. Now that you got the lay of the land, you're gonna want to do what everyone else in Thunder Junction does. Come up with a plot. Cards of the plot mechanic can be exiled from your hand face up for a cost, and cast for free on a later turn. Convenient for those late game plans you might be hatching. Slick Shot Show-Off is perfect to store on the side until later so you can surprise your opponent with haste and a power buff for all non-creature spells that come after it. You might not think we got much in the way of laws out in Thunder Junction, but we got a few. For instance, targeting your opponents, their stuff, and/or graveyard is referred to as a crime. But here's a tip. Just because they're called crimes doesn't mean anyone will stop you from committing one. And in fact, crime pays. Free Strider Lookout allows you to look at the top 5 cards of your library when you commit a crime, and put a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Hard Bristle Bandit is a 2-drop that taps for mana and can be untapped each time you commit a crime once per turn. Magda the Horde Master will tip you a tapped treasure for committing a crime. Turn in 3 treasures and she'll rustle you up your very own 4/4 red scorpion dragon with flying and haste. And Gisa, the Hellraiser, true to her name, allows you to create 2-tap 2/2 blue and black zombie rogue creature tokens whenever you commit a crime. This mythic outlaw not only creates additional creatures, but she even buffs them too. It's no wonder she's got a wanted price on her head. Most abilities that reward you for crime trigger only once each turn, but a single crime sets all of them off. Fill your board with outlaws and you'll be in for a raucous time. In Thunder Junction, the cunning really can have it all. While you're here, why not go on a spree? Cards with spree are modal instant and sorceries that have a menu of options, each with an additional cost. The more you choose, the better results you get. The first option of Unfortunate Accident allows you to destroy a target creature, and you can follow it up by creating a 1/1 red mercenary creature token. But maybe you want your crime spree to be more lucrative and less tying someone to the train tracks. The first option of Great Train Heist untaps all your creatures, perfect for getting your posse together. Cast it during your combat to set up a second swipe at the loot, not to mention your opponent's life total. Then you can follow it up with buffing those creatures as they prepare for the heist. And lastly, to ensure the success of your stick-up, you get to ride away with newly created treasure tokens. Take your pick or choose all 3. That's the excitement of going on a spree. Of course, once you finish your crime spree, you're gonna want to get out of Thunder Junction for a spell before all that law-breaking blows back on you. You don't want to die standing up. What you'll need is something with a little giddy-up. Luckily, we've got you covered. Mounts are creatures that get a bonus if ridden into battle, and Saddle is an ability mounts have. Tap any number of other creatures you control with total power N or more, and the mount becomes saddled until end of turn. But look out when saddling a mount as dangerous as the Gitrog Ravenous Ride. With great sacrifice comes great reward, so rider beware. And speaking of things to look out for, where else could Thunder Junction make a splash than on the frontier of the Commander battlefield? A new game experience called Bounties. There are 12 bounty cards that are shuffled together and placed in the middle of the table. At the beginning of the 3rd turn, the top bounty card is revealed. Each bounty lays out how you go about collecting the reward. The first reward creates a treasure token and increases each turn it goes unclaimed, right up to a maximum reward of 2 treasures and drawing a card. That's a mighty fine deal. There are some real scoundrels in these Commander decks. If you ever wanted to play as nothing but the bad guys, the Most Wanted Commander deck might be right for you. This deck's got it all, so long as all doesn't include anyone you trust to hold your ice cream cone. It features mercenaries, rogues, assassins, pirates, and warlocks. Beat up your opponents and make a quick buck on the way. Olivia Opulent Outlaw allows you to create a treasure token whenever 1 or more outlaws you control deal combat damage to someone. You can then use that treasure to put 1/1 counters on creatures you control. Crime is a vicious cycle. In Thunder Junction, you're either quick or you're dead. Put some giddy up and go in your step with the Quick Draw Commander deck. It combines the classic blue-red magic archetype with a gunslinger aesthetic that's slicker than an oil spill. Fire off instants and sorceries before whoever's across the table from you has a clue what's happening. Stella Lee Wildcard rewards you for casting your second spell each turn, letting you exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card, and if you cast 3 spells in a turn, you may tap Stella Lee in order to copy an instant or sorcery spell you control. It's not all violence and destruction out here. Well, yes it is. But there's beauty too. The Desert Bloom Commander deck will make you feel like you're in the arid plains surrounding Thunder Junction. Use it to discard and sacrifice lands, a popular theme in brand new colors. Each land card in your graveyard makes Yuma cheaper to recruit. Yuma turns your excess lands into more cards, and if a desert card hits the graveyard, you'll inherit a 4/2 plant warrior token with reach to protect. Adorable. And finally, a commander deck for those with sticky fingers who just can't help themselves. Grand Larceny is a black-green-blue deck that focuses on casting spells you don't own. Cheaper than casting the spells you do own. With Gonti, the Canny Inquisitor, whenever one or more of your creatures deals damage to a player, you can look at the top card of their library and exile it face down. You may play that card while it remains exiled using mana of any type. Gonti's ability also lets you reduce the cost of those spells you cast but don't own by 1. Getting to play your opponent's cards at a discount? Not a bad deal. Word has it that Kellen the Kid has been following his father across the multiverse, all the way from Eldraine. Was Oko more than he bargained for? I doubt it. He must be his father's son, but only time will tell if he really belongs to Oko's band of outlaws. Which brings us to our ringleader, Oko, Kellen's dad and gang boss to those miscreants I introduced you to earlier. He passed through Eldraine too. Only I get the impression they weren't too sorry to see the backside of him. When Kellen first showed up, Oko acted the part of the loving father, but he's only looking to get whatever he wants. And his son isn't the only thing returning from the past. Oko likes to celebrate his old infamies in high style, and so do we. Every pack of Thunder Junction has a breaking news card, a new treatment exclusively for crimes. There's one in every play booster, with foils appearing in both play and collector boosters. And we've also got textured foils of the mythic breaking news cards with a unique textured gloss varnish and black raised foil. You can physically feel the treatment on the card. These only come as a collector booster exclusive. Oko's next big score is whatever's in the vault. But even with the baddest gang of outlaws he's put together, it's going to be a tough job. Still, it isn't much good assembling a crew of legendary criminals from throughout the multiverse if you don't even try to break into an equally legendary vault. I'm betting it won't be long before Oko makes his move. The prize is worth it, I reckon. The vault contains 30 extra cards that can be found in play and collector boosters. These cards also come in their own special vault treatment. Vault treatment cards can be opened only in collector boosters. 5 vault cards have a raised foil eclipse treatment. The frames of these foils are also raised. Our booster fun doesn't end there, though. Special guests are returning in Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Non-foils will be available in play boosters, with foil versions in collector boosters. Well, stranger, I think you're just about ready to make a name for yourself in Thunder Junction. Your crime spree is just getting started. Saddle up to your local game store for pre-release starting the weekend of April 12th, and on Arena April 16th. Otherwise, we'll see you on April 19th when Thunder Junction will be available everywhere. And if you're curious about how things shake out between Oko and Kellen, story episodes are currently online. Remember, keep your guard up. No one in Thunder Junction is quite who they seem to be. No one.